right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A weather impact alert tonight for the bitter cold still to come and the travel troubles the snow brings to much of the area, but not all.
Tonight, salt trucks filled, plows ready to go.
Just bear with us. Nothing about this storm is going to be quick.
The wait-and-see game plan for road crews on one side of the river.
We're not treating ahead of this storm.
Plus, the bitter blast has animal advocates barking tonight.
If you're cold, they're cold.
The sad tale for one dog serving as a warning for all pet owners. We start tonight at 10 with that weather impact alert. Right now, the first round of light snow is moving into the bi-state. It's all part of a winter blast that will bring accumulating snow and dangerous cold over the next 72 hours. Tomorrow will be the bigger impact, especially for our southern counties. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. In just 2 hours, a winter weather advisory will go into effect in the immediate St. Louis area. We have team coverage tonight on winter storm preps. But let's start with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the latest on the timing of the snow and the big temperature drop. Scott.
Yeah, that temperature drop is really the big core of what we're dealing with here over the next few days. Temperatures are getting colder. The snow that we're seeing tonight and tomorrow, even though some of us won't see a whole lot, that's actually bringing in more Arctic air. So bitterly cold temperatures, some snow overnight tomorrow into tonight and into tomorrow. And then we're going to be dealing with temperatures that are down into the single digits, perhaps even below zero as we head into Thursday morning, perhaps even Friday morning. Starting to see a few flakes on that traffic camera out there in Wentzville. Lambert's been reporting a few flakes. Most of it's north and west of St. Louis. This is generally a light band. It's going to come through, produce a dusting to maybe an inch. But for the most part, we're not getting big amounts out of that. And then tomorrow, the focus is all down to the south and southwest of St. Louis. We've nudged this band even a little farther south. We're fighting the dry air with that stiff northeast breeze, and that means some spots northeast of St. Louis may be lucky to get a dusting tonight and tomorrow. When you get into the metro area, more like an inch or two on the south side, maybe 3 to 4, but then we just start ramping it up, and still that potential for 8 to 12 inches farther south of St. Louis. We think between now and about 1 o'clock in the morning, that's most likely when we'll get our dusting to an inch. Then after that, things are settling down a bit. Look how cold it is. Omaha, Des Moines, Quad Cities. All that bitterly cold air comes in behind this system. So this is the snow we're dealing with now. It will slide in here as we head through the overnight hours. And again, it's not all about the snow totals. It's going to be about those single-digit temperatures, both above and below zero, that we end up dealing with. We'll see you in a few minutes, Mike.
Stay off the roads tomorrow if you can. That's the message tonight from transportation officials on both sides of the river.
5 on your side's Brent Solomon is live in the Weather Impact Storm Tracker to explain the work already underway before the storm to keep the roads clear, Brent.
Well, you know what, guys? Within just the past 3 hours, MoDOT crews started around-the-clock shifts. And their goal this time is to tackle this storm a little differently. They're going to wait until the snow actually hits the roadway. We're downtown right now, and IDOT tells us it has a similar plan. In about 2 hours, city crews will also continue the work that they've already started.
You don't have to travel far down memory lane to recall days like this. Get ready for more snow come Tuesday.
I'm sure you've seen the forecast for this week, which says we'll be seeing a lot of snow.
St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones taking to social media to let city neighbors know crews pre-treated roads Friday and Saturday.
And at midnight tonight, they'll begin 12-hour shifts, focusing on pre-treating the hill routes before the snow hits.
Once it does, city workers will get to plowing. It's a different approach for MoDOT, which decided not to pre-treat roads this time due to the bitter cold.
We look at every storm differently, and the main thing with this one is the extreme temperatures. So that pavement's going to be cold already, and it's a light, fluffier snow, and if we put a chemical down and the snow hits the roadway and it reacts, it'll melt and it'll dilute it right away and it'll turn to ice right away.
Once the snow falls, MoDOT believes it will be easier to plow compared to last month's storm. And then there's Illinois.
We pride ourselves on being aggressive. We pride ourselves on trying to clean up as quickly as possible.
IDOT crews put chemicals down Sunday, and they believe that's enough to get the job done.
I think if the trend continues, yes, we're confident we can manage the storm reasonably well.
This, as city crews say they may have to make multiple trips to clear the roads.
Everybody kind of thinks if we go down the street, 10 minutes later, it just magically opens up. Our trucks are not magic wands, especially when it's 16 degrees or 10 degrees outside.
So the message there is please be patient. Experts say if you have to be on the roads tomorrow, gas up early and make sure your tires and windshield wipers are all good to go. Otherwise, they say, make plans to just steer clear of the roadways. That's if you can. We're live downtown for you tonight. Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
The dangerous cold will have many seeking alternative ways to stay warm inside. And tonight, St. Louis firefighters have a warning about one of those methods. Officials now say a kerosene heater contributed to a North City house fire that left an infant with serious burns. That fire broke out yesterday afternoon on Lee Avenue. An adult inside the home was also treated for burns. Here are some safety tips from the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Never leave a burning kerosene heater unattended. Keep it 3 feet away from combustible materials like furniture and drapes. Only use water clear 1K grade kerosene. Never use gasoline. Also, you should never refuel your heater inside your home.
Just before the dangerous cold hits, an Illinois animal shelter rescued more than 24 dogs from terrible conditions. The shelter saved 30 dogs from a hoarding situation in Waterloo, Illinois. Several other pets were found dead on the property. Officials say the dog's owner died 2 months ago, and the power of attorney couldn't get local animal control to help move the dogs. The shelter is now looking for foster families for the dogs. Tonight's Stray Rescue is caring for a dog severely burned from the heat lamp.
5 on your side's Annie Kroll continues our weather impact alert team coverage with a warning about the dangers your pet faces in this dangerous cold. Annie.
Mike and Kelly, I actually met Aria today. She has third-degree burns caused when a heat lamp fell on her during our last wave of extreme winter weather in January.
Do not use a heat lamp over the crates. Unfortunately, they can't be monitored all the time.
Words of caution after Aria was stuck in an outside crate that caught fire.
They were doing their best to keep her warm, but there was a heat lamp above her crate and there was a tarp, and the tarp ended up flying up and catching fire.
Katie Grana with Stray Rescue St. Louis isn't sure if it was her owners or a stranger who picked her up off the cold streets that set up the heat lamp.
They also had straw underneath her, which is also something you're supposed to do, but it all caught fire, and so she has severe burns all over her body.
Besides not using heat lamps, the Humane Society of Missouri advises to check your pet's paws for cracked pads or redness from rock salt.
What we're going to say over and over again is keep your pets inside, limited time outside. If you're cold, they're cold, but we know this isn't always possible. Some animals are outside animals, some animals, even just the strays that live on the streets, we can't bring them all inside.
The St. Louis Fire Department also recommending Monday to only use a space heater with an automatic shutoff.
She is the sweetest thing. She has a great demeanor and she just wants to snuggle. So it's sad because we can't snuggle on her and pet on her too much because her skin is still so raw and sensitive.
Aria has at least another 6 months of recovery.
She's really progressing really well, and we're hopeful that in the next couple of weeks they should be able to start sewing new skin on, probably using fish skin to really help her expedite her healing.
Stray Rescue St. Louis recommends that if your pets do have to be in an outside shelter over the next few days, make sure it's away from the wind and snow. If you see an animal on the streets in distress, call your local police, the Humane Society of Missouri Animal Cruelty Hotline, or Stray Rescue immediately.
Our weather impact alert coverage continues now on the 5+ streaming app. It's free to download on your Apple, Roku, or Fire TV device. You can also get the latest weather impact forecast on your phone just by texting the word snow to 314-425-5355.
Tonight, we know the name of one of the children killed in a house fire in Macoupin County. The coroner says 10-year-old Jacob James likely died of smoke inhalation. His 13-year-old brother and his father also died after being pulled from their burning home in Verdon, Illinois, Saturday morning. Their names have not been released. The state fire marshal is investigating what caused the fire. Tonight, 2 drivers are recovering after a crash at a busy intersection in North St. Louis County. Police say one of the cars was driving erratically and ran a red light at Dunn and Bellefontaine Roads around 4 this afternoon. They crashed into another car with 3 young children inside. Their mother and the other driver were taken to the hospital with what police call significant injuries.
Tonight, the family of a Breeze, Illinois woman who died after crashing into a pond is calling for change. Investigators say 59-year-old Susan Hilmes missed a curve on Rod and Gun Road and drove into a pond. Her husband was able to get out of the car and try to save her multiple times before calling 911. The family now says that stretch of road needs new safety measures, and police agree it could save lives.
You get into freezing cold water and overturn. It's, you know, you wear your seat belts to be safe, but they're hard to get out of when you're upside down in the water. The guardrail could have prevented that.
The Clinton County Sheriff's Office is still investigating the crash.
The latest battle in the St. Louis County Council Wars is headed to the highest court in the state. The Missouri Supreme Court will now hear arguments in appeal over Prop B. The April 8th ballot question is asking to give the county council the power to remove county department heads. County Executive Sam Page sued to block it. A circuit court judge agreed, calling the ballot language misleading. The Missouri Court of Appeals reversed that decision. A terrifying landing.
Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
The investigation tonight into what caused this runway rollover. Just hours from now, the first ballots in the St. Louis City primary will be cast.
We're trying to get as many people to vote as possible early.
The last-minute snafu election officials have overcome.
Always have contingency plans for things here.
One wave of light snow overnight in the metro. Then we wait while southern Missouri gets the deep snow tomorrow. Updated timing and trends with our weather impact alert in 7 minutes.
Everything, drop it. Come on.
Dramatic new video tonight of passengers escaping a Delta regional jet that flipped upside down on a runway in Toronto. The flight out of Minneapolis started to have problems during a landing at Pearson International Airport. The plane's tail and right wing were ripped off. All 76 passengers and 4 crew members survived. 18 people suffered injuries. The cause is under investigation. Aviation experts speculate blowing snow and wind gusts could have played a factor. Well, the St. Louis City municipal primary election is just 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Early voting kicks off tomorrow at 7 polling locations. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski visited the Board of Elections tonight, where officials were busy preparing. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, while the municipal election is certainly not as busy as a November general election, officials are still encouraging St. Louis residents to vote early.
Starting Tuesday, St. Louis residents can early vote in the municipal primary election for mayor, comptroller, and alderpersons in odd-numbered wards.
They do something called approval voting. That means you can vote for as many candidates that you approve of. This year, with the number of candidates, that means that you could vote for all the candidates if you wanted to. You could vote for one, you could vote for none, you could vote for any combination that's on the ballot. What will happen is that the 2 top vote getters will then move on to the general.
For early voting or no excuse absentee voting, you can go to any of the 7 polling places. 6 libraries, including the Kings Highway branch, will be open from 11 to 5, and the Board of Elections office on Tucker will be open from 8 to 5.
What you need to vote is just an ID. There's no excuse needed, so that means as long as you're a St. Louis City registered voter and you have an ID, you can vote tomorrow.
But preparation for this election has not been as smooth as previous ones. The old elevators in the Board of Elections building broke down, and there's no timeline on fixing them, which means they've had a tough time accessing their warehouse on the 3rd floor.
We've been running them like unmanned flights from the 3rd floor, just retrieving our equipment. We're getting it down here for the early voting. That equipment came down over the weekend. It's all been distributed today.
The Board of Elections says it's going to be an even bigger challenge for the main election days. Right now, they're in the process of moving all of the equipment to a temporary warehouse that could be a permanent one.
It will go out from that warehouse to polling places for March, return there after the March election, stored there till April, then go out from there for April.
The board does not believe this will impact the election process for voters.
The Board of Elections is currently in the process of mailing out voter info cards and sample ballots, and St. Louis voters can also look at that sample ballot before voting early online.
And we put together a voter guide on the ballot rules and the candidates on KSDK.com. Just text the word guide to 314-425-5355 and we'll send you the link.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell rejoins us now with the weather impact forecast and the impact, snow and dangerous cold, Scott.
And, you know, not a lot of snow, we don't think, for the metro area north and northeast. Some, yes, impactful, potentially, but the bigger impacts from the snow will be to the south. All of us, though, will be dealing with cold air. If you want to get the weather impact forecast, you can scan that code right there, and it'll take you to it. So we're looking out in St. Charles at this moment, and we're pretty quiet across most of the area, but occasionally we're starting to see a few light snow flurries building into the metro area at this hour. So winter weather advisories in effect for the St. Louis area, southern Missouri, far southern Illinois. That's where we have the winter storm warning. That's where you're likely to see 5 to maybe 15 inches of snow. Well to the south and southwest of St. Louis. We're not in that big band of snow in St. Louis. We are in the big band of cold air, and we will deal with the bitterly cold temperatures through the end of the week. So that means prepare yourself, prepare your pets, prepare your pipes, because if you've had trouble with freezing pipes, that is going to be an issue we have to deal with as we head through the next few days. Right now, radar is coming to life north and west of St. Louis. Again, we've talked about how dry this air is. Arctic dry air has moved in, and even though we're trying to get some snow through that, with that northeast breeze continuing across the area, it's just kind of undercutting the snow as it's falling out and trying to eat it alive, literally. All right, trace to 3 inches here is our snowfall total from St. Louis north and northeast. There'll be spots that get next to nothing. You get back into the metro area, and it could be a scenario where we're getting an inch in Alton and maybe 3 or 4 inches down towards Arnold. And then it increases going south and southwest from there. Still looking at the heaviest snow, biggest impacts down to the southwest of St. Louis. So snow and bitter cold. Tonight, a dusting to an inch with that band that comes through. Snow is mainly south tomorrow, and then it moves into the metro as we head towards 4, 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. It's 11 in Pittsfield, 19 in Chesterfield. Feels like it's in the single digits for a lot of us, below 0 up at Pittsfield, and there's your north to northeasterly wind pulling in that drier air. So these bands of snow slide on through tonight, really between now and about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. After that, just a couple of flurries in the metro. Will you go to school in the metro area tomorrow? Well, that depends on what the schools say when they get up tomorrow morning. They track the roads. May not be that bad. And we're not going to have any snow during the day in St. Louis. It's all to our south and southwest. That doesn't nudge into the metro area until tomorrow evening. And when it does, it doesn't bring a huge amount of snow with it. But it does reintroduce even colder air to the bi-state area. And that's what we'll be dealing with as we head towards the end of the week. Again, your heaviest snowfall totals south and southwest of St. Louis. Travel tomorrow down 44 is going to be abysmal. Down 55, it'll get that way as well. Southwest Missouri, there's spots that could get 12 to 16 or more inches. So we'll see temperatures here dropping into the single digits as we head towards Thursday morning and Friday morning, perhaps even below 0. It's 20 right now with a few flurries. Tonight, single digits north of St. Louis, around 10. You don't get a lot of snow tonight, but you get a little bit. And then for tomorrow, you know, our weather impact alert continues. We are cold all day tomorrow with those temperatures in the teens. That's part of the problem. You got the dry air, you got the cold temperatures. As the road crews have said, whatever falls sticks. And if they melt it and just a little rock salt and it thaw, you know, it's going to freeze before, right after it gets thawed by the treatment. So we're in a bad situation in spots tomorrow for travel across the bi-state area. As we head towards the end of the weekend, I think we're making some big progress here. Look at your temperatures in the 50s next week.
Yeah, that looks good.
That looks really nice, doesn't it?
Wish we could just fast forward.
Yeah.
I would like to as well.
Yeah, I bet you
I bet you would.
Thanks, Scott.
Here's Frank with sports.
So another Kachuk got hurt tonight. The Cardinals had their first full workout, and we're playing hit and run with Drew Hanlon. Our St. Louis bad boys, the Kachucks, have made hockey vogue. Matthew sat tonight. Brady played against Sweden. But all that matters now is USA versus Canada on Thursday. There's the father, Keith, who wasn't bad either, 538 goals. And Brady got hurt right here and only played one more shift after this collision. Sweden won this meaningless game 2-1 on that goal by Jesper Bratt. Canada got to Thursday final by beating Finland. Canadians came out buzzing. Connor McDavid lit the lamp and Nathan MacKinnon scored 46 seconds later. Canada wins 5-3. Thursday will be insane.
taking flight. Card Spring Training, sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
So it will be 10 degrees here tomorrow and 80 in Jupiter. Somehow young Corey Miller is there at spring training, and I'm here. When he wasn't at the beach, he did file this report.
The first full squad workout for the 2025 St. Louis Cardinals is in the books here in Jupiter, Florida. If you're looking for new faces on the fields back here, you weren't going to find any. The Cardinals had the quietest offseason of any team in Major League Baseball. But for the younger players, now with a chance for more opportunity, the message is clear. Run with it.
Make mistakes, be okay making mistakes, make them on the aggressive side, not on the timid side. Like, figure out what your limits are. I don't care if it borders reckless, especially early. I want guys to really understand what they're capable of, and then we can always dial it back. They're anxious to leave their mark on this franchise, and I mean it. They're hungry for that. That's why when you talk about playing fast and there being excitement and just being aggressive, like, these guys are hungry for that opportunity to be able to leave their mark. So yeah, there's excitement.
When it comes to starting pitching, the Cardinals still have plenty of veterans in that department. Today, Ollie Marmol said Eric Fetty, Miles Michaelis, and Steven Matz will get the first 3 starts of spring training. Reporting in Jupiter, Corey Miller, 5 on your side sports.
All right, Corey, thanks so much. We often play hit and run with celebrities, no hedging allowed. Basketball trainer Drew Hanlon started with David Lee and Brad Beal. Now it's everybody from Giannis to Embiid. His clients have made over $5 billion. Let's play hit and run. True or false, you never discuss money when you start working with a player?
True. Still to this day, I tell them to pay me whatever they think it's worth whenever they want. And so that could be, there's random times where, I get a big smile on my face when I see a number pop in the bank account, but I really don't ever want money to get in the way of the relationships.
The most famous person you have in your phone right now?
I would have said Kobe Bryant, because I still have Kobe Bryant's number. I got a chance to spend time with Kobe, but Kobe would be the iconic.
Who was the person you actually met that you were shocked they knew who I am?
Michael Jordan. Yeah, Jason and I went down and golfed, and I remember him saying, hey, MJ said we can go golf down in Jupiter at his club with him, and I remember, sitting there, we got there a little bit early, we're eating breakfast, and he came and, said hi to JT, and he's like, Drew, what's up? And I was just like, my childhood idol. The guy that I looked up to knows my name.
Have you ever beaten Jason in a shooting game?
Yes, and honestly, I'm up in our all-time one-on-one performances. When we played one-on-one, but here's the kicker. I haven't played him in so many years because I'm up by 1, and so I don't want to give him another chance because I know that he'll end up beating me and taking over that crown.
Have you ever gotten a reaction from other NBA stars when they don't really know you and they think, well, who's this 5'11" white guy telling you what to do?
When I first started out, there were a lot of people that were rolling their eyes at me saying, why are you listening to a mid-major college basketball player? One thing that David said to me a long time ago at a dinner with Steph Curry that was awesome. Steph asked him, why are you listening to a college basketball player? And Dave said, listen, Phil Jackson could not beat Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal, but he could make them better versions of himself. I can't say that Drew's a better basketball player, but I can say that he helped me become a better basketball player.
How would Drew Hanlon like to be remembered, say, 25 years from now when you're done?
I hope I inspire a lot of people to chase their best self and find inner peace. I think that so many people, they chase these things that don't actually bring inner peace. And I'd love to help as many people as I can find peace within themselves so that they love who they are, what they're doing, and the life they live.
And he's now an author trying to help everyone, not just basketball players.
Yeah, some life lessons there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something we can all learn from.
Thanks, Frank.
A blast of snow and bitter cold is headed to the bi-state. Scott will have the latest on the timing when we come back.
All right, snow is already starting to fall in Wentzville tonight, and Scott has one more update on our winter weather.
Yeah, it's very light at this point around the metro area, starting to spread in. Think we'll see this between now and say about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, dusting to an inch overnight. We get a break in St. Louis after that, and then tomorrow during the day, most of it is to the south of St. Louis, and that's where you're going to end up with 5 to 12 inches, but metro area probably looking at 1 to 2 inches by the time everything is said and done, with some spots around 3. Yes, that has gone down a bit because dry air is feeding into the system. That's going to take away some of our snowfall, and the storm track is also shifted a little farther south. What hasn't shifted is the cold air. It's still coming, and it's going to be brutal. Low temperatures by Thursday morning will be near zero. Wind chills 10 to maybe 20 degrees below zero in some spots. Won't take much of a breeze to get down into that territory. So cold weather advisories will be coming for much of the area, we think, towards the end of the week.
So the metro area is not going to get too much snow, but that doesn't mean part of our viewing area to the south, they're going to get a lot.
Yeah, down 44, it's going to be problematic, down 55 as well.
All right, Scott. And our weather impact alert coverage continues now on the 5+ streaming app. It is free to download on your Apple, Roku, or Fire TV device.
And we can also send the latest forecast to your phone just by texting the word snow to 314-425-5355. And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10.
And the Today in St. Louis team will be here with the latest on the winter storm beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow and be safe.